Time to turn our attention to the French newspapers. Elena's with us here on set. What's all over the front pages then, Elena?
Well, it's the controversy over the right to strike that's making most front pages. Here it is on the front page of Le Parisien. Now, this is because security workers at France's main airports, including Charles de Gaulle, have been on strike for the last week. Now, the government, President Sarkozy's government, has accused them of holding French people's holidays hostage. And the president says he wants to introduce a minimum service law, like the one that already exists on French railways, which says even if the workers do want to go on strike, a minimum amount of trains have to run. So they want to do the same in airports. They would have to run a minimum service. Of course, that's because they don't really want to see too many more front page pictures like this with lots of unfortunate French tourists hiding in the airport, which when they're trying to get home for their holidays being stuck there. Now, of course, that's probably something that would go down well with travellers if they stopped airport workers from striking during the school holidays. But, of course, it is not very popular with the unions. They're furious about the idea of restricting their right to strike. The communist paper here, L'Humanité, is absolutely furious about this inside. As you might expect, they say the right to strike is constitutional. They can't attempt to take it away. They interview a number of very angry unionists as well. And they're particularly cross about the government's idea of replacing those striking security workers with police, which police unions says it's not their job to break strikes.
Now, another story which is all over the French papers. This is MPs' attempt to criminalise, denying the Armenian genocide is also still getting lots of press attention, isn't it? Yes,
it's here on the front page of Libération, the Franco-Turkish clash over the Armenian genocide. Now, as we were saying yesterday, this doesn't seem like the most diplomatic decision to take, given how important France's relationship with Turkey is, and especially Turkey's possible influence over Syria. And it doesn't seem like a very good idea economically either, with the Turkish government threatening to impose sanctions that could affect French businesses. So why exactly are they doing this, Libération asks today. They say basically it's a bit of electoral manoeuvring. Some MPs have figured that it might be popular with French voters to try and push the idea of Turkey joining the European Union as far away as possible. They interview a historian there in Libération, though, who says that while he completely accepts that there was a genocide in 1915, it makes no sense to try and pass laws now about something that happened 100 years ago and thousands of miles away.
And Bex is coming to Paris on a slightly lighter note.
Yes, indeed. Here he is on the front page of Le Figaro. David Beckham, the audacious financial bet of Paris Saint-Germain, is their headline. Basically, they're asking if he's worth the 800,000 euros that PSG has reportedly agreed to pay him every month. They reckon in sporting terms, really, it's unlikely. He's a bit past being very useful in helping them winning the Champions League or any other big awards, they say. But in commercial terms, they call him the goose that could lay golden eggs, saying that they reckon he made 440 million euros for Real Madrid when he played for them in shirt sales alone, particularly in Asia. So PSG is hoping that by linking their brand up with brand Beckham, they can become one of the big international players, at least financially.
And a story very dear to Elena's heart because she's off on her holidays. Some bad news for people planning to fly away for Christmas after that
well, there's
strike.
An article in Libération that I'm not sure I should have read, especially after the strike news. But they report apparently that 9 out of 10 flights have some kind of unexpected incident happen on them that the pilots have to cope with, according to a conference of pilots explaining how they deal with this kind of thing that happened this week in Paris. Now, that could be anything from really serious things like engine failure to the 2 pilots who managed to lock themselves out of their cockpit and then had to hack their way back in with an axe, apparently. Now, they say, we shouldn't worry. It's still less statistically dangerous to get on a plane than to get in your car, but we should nevertheless be impressed by the skill of some of these pilots and the things they manage to do. They still can't really design flight simulators, the paper says, that can cope with the amount of different incidents that pilots have to cope with. So while there's some engineers even working on 100% automatic planes, given just how unpredictable being in the air is, it seems unlikely that will ever really happen.
Well, we've had people stuck in the lift here at France 24 today. It's almost the same thing.
It's less dramatic.
Exactly. All right, Elena, thanks a lot. That's Elena with the French newspapers, her pick of them anyway, here on France 24.